Alright, let's do this one more time because last time it was a real treat. We're going to take a look at some more LEGO Prototype Bionicle weapons. These are official protos that LEGO themselves produced, and they are a sight to behold. Let's gaze at their beauty and we'll also dream. We'll dream about how we could use these in MOCs if we did own these pieces, although the chances of you owning this are very unlikely. And if you don't own them, well, we'll see how you could use the official versions of these pieces in your own MOCs. Maybe that could give you some inspiration. Let's do it. Now, I highlighted where these came from in the last prototype parts video that I did. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. So these prototype pieces were sent to the BZ Power Bionicles forum admin, Black6, otherwise known as Andrew. And the aim was that these would be given out for contests, giveaways, all sorts of fun prizes in community-based stuff. But what's inside this bag? Well, let's start off with my personal favorite prototype part in this video. Look at these 3 different colored Antros wings. Mate, it's like looking at delicious candy in a lolly shop. So originally these pieces appeared in a nice dark red and marbled black coloration, and of course they came in the set Antros. And dude, how good do the prototype versions look? They almost look like they'd have different elemental powers. That would be fun. You could build like a fire Antros with the one up top, or Antros with ice powers for the middle one, and I guess maybe the last one could be earth powers or shadow powers. So many possibilities. Although, a pair of MOCs that was built by DViDi, this one's called Pain and this one's called Gain, well, they actually use the red and white versions of these prototype pieces. And you know what? They look phenomenal on 2 demon characters. You see, that's the beauty about owning prototype parts. If you put them on your creation, they can be that perfect little finishing touch. I mean, the hint of extra trans blue that they give to Pain, the nice injection of yellow that they give to Gain, as well as just the shape of these wings, they give off an excellent flair of devilishness. Now, to be fair, I think the original dark red and black wings that came in the official set, they would still work pretty well on the red devil character. So, you could easily make something like this using only official pieces. But I don't know. Seeing this, it makes me want to approach a custom parts company and say, hey, could you 3D print something similar to this? Because dude, it looks so good. Now, one other way that you could use them is how Bonkarella has done on this MOC. Placing them on the neck as some kind of, ornate torso armor. It's kinda dope. But I'd love to see these 3 prototypes replacing these pieces. Sure, the colors might contrast a little bit too much with the color scheme, but maybe you could take inspiration from the Pokemon Emboar. His normal form and his shiny form have beautiful flames around the neck. So imagine, you get these prototype pieces and you mimic the red and blue flames with these red and blue pieces. Just slap that onto the torso and dude, that's gonna be beautiful. See, it's making me sing. Prototype pieces, man. They're a thing of beauty. On to the next prototype part. Here's a rather interesting one. It's Malam's claws, but in silver and a kind of light trans-orange marbled color. And the other one, it's trans-light blue with a bit of white. These are sick. Originally, these came on the set Malam. His claws were dark red and a sort of trans-bright orange. Again, looking at these prototype pieces, they make me want to see different color-swapped versions of Malam. Can you imagine an ice-themed version of the character? Or a more knight-like approach to Malam with silver armor wearing that silver claw. They'd look so good rocking these pieces. Now, I've got 2 different ideas for how you could use these marvelous pieces. The first one actually uses this silver prototype, and this was made by Loaf Builds. It's their take on Motoro. So you can see the arm has this interesting effect where it almost looks like it's disintegrating and burning away. This appears to be a callback to the comics, where Motoro, of course, very famously sacrifices himself, and his body does kind of do something similar to this. Yeah, that's a nice way of showcasing that. I think that's very clever. If not, Joxon has a MOC that uses the original dark red version to form quite an interesting mouth design. If you look closely, you can see this piece really embedded into the face. And the end result, you know, it reminds me of the face of Predator from the movies. Yeah man, in typical Joxon fashion, he's used this piece in such a creative and very clever way. Now imagine if you built this with the silver or the trans blue prototype. I guess if you did that, you'd probably have to replace some of these other fire-themed pieces around the head. Yeah, that way the prototype would tie into the rest of the color scheme of the mock. Although, you know, potentially what you could do. You see how this mock is using Malum's mask up the top here? What if you swapped that out for Berex's mask? That would be a roughly similar color to the trans blue and white claw. You'd kind of have to improvise with some of the other fire pieces, but you could do a kind of blue fire version of this, if you were lucky enough to have that part. Or, you know, if you painted an existing piece. Something like that. But look, there's options. And honestly too, if you have the existing version of this piece, try and make a head design that looks pretty similar to this, because it's phenomenal. Whatever color you build it in, it's going to be really pretty. Now, this prototype is rather nice. We have a Vaki blade in trans red. Now, I've mentioned it before. Typically, if you see prototype pieces in trans red, trans clear, green, and certain other colors, it indicates that it's a sort of part test. Typically, LEGO prints pieces in these colors to test out new molds. So yeah, this is likely a very early test for when this piece was being introduced. And doesn't it look great? Of course, this piece originally came in silver on some of the Vaki sets. Now, to use it in a mock, Bonkeltopia uses the original silver version to form a rather interesting shield design. Got two of them doing this here. And hey, wouldn't this look great in trans red? It would actually tie into the red color scheme of this mock as well. Man, that would look great. Over to another pretty cool piece. This is Gresh's weapon, but it's in trans light blue as well as trans black with a little bit of silver marbled into it. Dang, this rocks. Originally, this piece appeared in a marbled dark green color, but later it also came out in just a flat silver. Both of these appeared on different versions of the same character, Gresh. Now, there's no mock that I could find that uses the trans black one. Although, you know, I'm sure only like one or two of these exist out there, so that's kind of no surprise. But here's a mock by DVidy that uses the trans blue one. And this is dope. Some kind of interesting holographic sword, like it's some kind of futuristic sci-fi techno blade. What a creative and original concept. And you know what? I think this design would look equally as good in the trans black and silver variant. Oh man, can you imagine? You got this guy as the hero, and then you've got the bad guy with maybe like, I don't know, a red color scheme, and he's got that black weapon. It's like their antithesis, their arch enemy, their shadow clone. That would be dope. You see, this makes me want to buy a custom version of something similar to this. It's just so cool, and there's so many creative possibilities. Now, I have actually spoken about this mock before because it uses another prototype piece, this Liwa mask. But hey, you know, if you want to hear more about this, go and check out the video I did before talking about this mock. I'll have a link in the description if you want to check it out. Alrighty, now let's finish off with a bang. We began with Antros, we're going to end with him as well. Here are 3 different colors of Antros's blades. Oh, I want these so badly. They're just so pretty. These of course came in the same set, Antros, and originally they were silver. Now it's interesting that the dark red and Keytorange marbled piece, as well as this trans black version, they partner up with the top and bottom wings that also came on Antros. So, you know, if you owned these prototypes, well, you could kind of convert the set into a different color variant. You'd need to improvise on a few different pieces, but you could do that. Now, I wonder why LEGO made a perfect pair for the weapons and wings of Antros. I wonder if this means they were toying around with his color scheme and trying out new stuff. Could we have got Antros in black or Antros in red and Keytorange? Who knows, but it's interesting to think about. But let's check out a mock that uses this piece. NerveMox uses it to revamp our boy Antros. And I like the way that he's attached them onto the arms. They can kind of bend around and I don't know, just the way they flow out of the body looks so cool. Can you imagine these in black and dark red? If they did look like this prototype piece, it would almost look like it's dripping with blood. Perfect for a Makuta. Or if they were these Keat orange and dark red ones, maybe it would look like Antros has some sort of fire powers. If he like charges up or whatever, he can just engulf his blades in flames. That's like something out of an anime, I love that. Dude, I wish that LEGO released these prototype pieces in an actual set. Can you imagine a little parts pack you could buy for, I don't know, $30 and you just get a bunch of different colored blades and masks and armor pieces? If only, that would have been the best. Because just looking at these, it's such a wellspring of ideas. It sucks that these are so rare, and you'll probably never find one in your entire life. Unless you find the right collector who happens to have it in their collection. Man, I wish I had these to build with. So many possibilities. And they would look so sick on this MOC. But they also look pretty good on this MOC in silver. Maybe you could do something similar. So I hope you enjoyed taking a look at these prototype weapon pieces. And I hope you enjoyed looking at these builders' MOCs as well. If you enjoyed seeing their stuff, check the links below. You can see even more of their stuff right there. But that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching, happy building, and bye for now.